Happy Friday, everyone. I wanted to make another video here quickly to explain a little bit of the prologue today. So on Schoology in our folder, you will find an assignment called Prologue Analysis Assignment. You will click on it, click My Document, and then it'll bring you to your own personal document that looks like this. You will type all over this, and then you will click Submit to turn it in. But the language in Shakespeare is tough, so I want to go over this quickly and make sure you understand the directions. So, it says, read the prologue below and highlight the main ideas. Then answer the questions that follow. Consider using websites like Shmoop or SparkNotes to assist you if needed. The language can be challenging. So before we start here, what the prologue is the prologue is basically when a chorus member, so just like a background person or like a narrator, if you will, of the play will come on stage and will talk directly to the audience. So this person would come on stage, say these lines. It's giving everyone a little preview of what the show will be about. And then this character, this chorus member, will go off stage, and then the actual characters and action will start. So it's almost like watching the trailer before a movie, for sort of a little comparison here. But this language is tough. So if you are super confused by this, which is okay, use websites like Shmoop or SparkNotes. They have side by side. So it will have Shakespeare's language, and then it'll have like translated to how we talk, and it will help you a ton. I didn't put it here because I want you to try first, but if you cannot get it on your own, please just Google one of these websites. Google SparkNotes Prologue of Romeo and Juliet, and there'll be tons of resources there for you to use. So I'm going to read this for you and then go over some of the questions. But the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read this and you're going to highlight what you think are the main ideas. Don't forget to highlight the main ideas. You get points just for doing that. So again, I'm coming on stage. I'm a chorus member. I'm reading this before the play starts. So it says, two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's ends not could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which, if you will with patient ears attend, what here shall miss our toil shall strive to mend. So, go through this slowly, line by line, and try to understand what it's saying. So, for example, I'm going to do the first couple lines with you together. So it says, two households both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. So all that is saying is there are two households that are alike in many ways. So two similar households, come from similar backgrounds, similar type people. And they're in Verona, which is a city where we lay our scene. So we're going to start our scene. Our play is going to start in Verona with two families who are similar. Then if we go to this next part of the first section here, it says, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. So there is some sort of ancient grudge between these two families, and they fight a lot. These families do not get along, so these families are actually called the Montagues and the Capulets in Romeo and Juliet. If you are familiar with the play at all, each Romeo and Juliet are from different families, so they hate each other. Their families do anyway. So these two families have a huge grudge between each other, do not get along, hate each other. See if you can do the rest on your own. I know it's tough. Use those resources if you can, but just slowly go through. So remember, step 1, highlight the main ideas. Step 2, go down here and answer these questions. There are 6 questions. If you were listening, I've already given the example or the answer to number 1 and number 2. So hopefully you were listening. I'll go back and watch that video again. What does Shakespeare mean by star-crossed lovers? See if you can figure that out. If you're a little stuck, look it up. There are so many resources on Romeo and Juliet. Wow, like tons. What happens to the lovers? So look at lines 6 through 8, or maybe you even know. What happens to these people? Do Romeo and Juliet make it in the end? Is there a happy ending? What happens to Romeo and Juliet? The chorus actually kind of ruins the play before it starts. What is the chorus? So that's the narrator of the prologue. What is the chorus ask the audience to do in the last 2 lines? What are they asking us to do here? And then what do you notice about the last words in each line? So read the last 2 or the last words. What do you notice about all these words? What do they have in common? Maybe stage, rage, etc. So that's all you have to do today. There are tons more resources to use with this if you want to. Feel free to have fun with Romeo and Juliet. It's awesome. I'm so sad we can't do this in school like normal. Last year, we had people read this, act it out. We had an assignment where everyone had to recreate a sword fight. It was a ton of fun. So there's tons of videos of the prologue if you want to look one up. There's a Leonardo DiCaprio version of the movie. Romeo and Juliet has a version of this where they're like animated gnomes. Tons of different versions of this play. So that's what you got to do today. When you're done, make sure you submit it and then have a lovely weekend. So we're just getting started here with Romeo and Juliet, and we will do a lot more in the coming weeks. So have a great weekend.